Madame G'in,
Okay.
over to you.
Well, I'm here to speak about an invisible group, women with disabilities. There are 650 million women with disabilities worldwide. This is the largest minority amongst the female population. This huge minority is largely invisible on the public agenda, on the women's movement agenda, and until recently, even on the disability agenda. We cannot afford to be silent or ignore such a significant minority. I therefore thank Nelly and the Israeli mission for inviting us to bring this issue to the fore today. A friend of mine, Bella, who has polio and uses a wheelchair, says that having the double stigma of being a woman and having a disability is nothing short of a catastrophe. This double stigma makes you doubly vulnerable. If women in general are discriminated against, women with disabilities are much more vulnerable. For example, women with disabilities are twice as likely to be physically and sexually abused than non-disabled people. Who speaks out for these women who have no voice? Who will speak out for a woman with a severe intellectual disability or autism who cannot communicate with a police officer or is too scared to complain when her abuser is her caregiver on whom she is dependent? This increased risk is seen in all fields, including less opportunity for education, employment, health services, family life, and of course, most of them live in dire poverty. So what action is called for changing this reality? The UN recently recognized the challenge, and in Section 6 of the UN Convention on the Rights of People with Disabilities, there is a call for special attention to ensure the rights and equal opportunities for this most marginalized group, girls and women with disabilities. Israel ratified this, and together with B'Zchut, a rights organization in Israel, we are leading its implementation in Israel and work closely with parliamentarians in our country to change legislation and advocate for the implementation of the convention. However, we all know that laws and policies and conventions are only one piece of the puzzle. In our experience, the development and implementation of education and awareness programs are essential to change the double stigma faced by women with disabilities. The need for self-advocacy groups is a must, and the training of disability leaders is a must, and Beit Izi Shapira is doing both. In addition, we created a model that was replicated nationally on how to bring together mothers, religious, secular, Jewish, Arab, veteran and new immigrant mothers from the Soviet Union, who formed a common task force to change the state of services in their region. These women have become serious change agents, and it makes me optimistic to see the power of women who stand together. My standing before you today gives me an opportunity to call for the general gender goals and objectives to also be inclusive of women with disabilities. Nothing about us without us. The slogan of the disability movement means nothing without people with disabilities. And I mean here today, nothing about women without women with disabilities, and nothing about disabilities without women. We have learned at Beit Izi Shapira that the greatest achievements in social change that we have managed to lead have only come through collaboration. Therefore, I call for a greater collaboration between the disability and women's movements. Imagine the inclusive society we can make if women with and without disabilities fight side by side for the rights of all women. Then we could celebrate differences and similarities while teaching the community to be truly inclusive for all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, G'in. We really indeed need to live in an inclusive society and recognize that women living with disabilities have a double stigma, which makes them doubly vulnerable. And we need to really take action on that. Thank you so much.